Hello and welcome to the week 4 of your training. I am Kavita Srijit and I shall be your instructor for this week. I hope the last 3 weeks have been enriching for you and that you're geared up for some more interesting concepts in the weeks up ahead. In the week 4 of your training, we shall cover some of the integrated supply chain concepts within Business by Design. We will start off the week with an introduction to the inventory management related processes. Further, you will get an overview on the various integrated and extended business scenarios like intra and intercompany stock transfers, third-party processes, returns and repairs. And last but not the least, you shall also get a sneak peek into some upcoming and recently developed features like serial number management and kits. So let's get started. In Unit 1 of Week 4, we will go through the inventory management concepts within SAP Business by Design, starting with physical inventory management. The physical inventory management business scenario enables you to count and adjust the physical inventory in your warehouse. Apart from being a legal requirement, inventory counting is important for the maintenance of accurate inventory and the long-term profitability of your company. Inventory adjustments are necessary when stock balances in the warehouse need to be adjusted because the inventory on hand does not match the inventory recorded in the system. In many companies, you may find counting to be a periodic task. There are 2 types of counting supported in the system. Counting can be performed at the logistic area, or also known as LOA, or at the product level. The logistic area count enables counting of all or some of the products within a particular logistic area, enabling you to have an overall view on the number of quantity and products inside the logistic area. A product count allows you to count single products which are stored in a common location. So, it would enable you to have a view from the product perspective, that is, to find out how a product is distributed across the warehouse. The picture also shows what we just discussed. There are 2 logistics areas as we see now, LOA 1 and LOA 2. So from the perspective of the logistic area count, we can say that the LOA 1 has the product A and the LOA 2 has product A and product B both within it. From the product perspective, we can say that the product A is distributed in LOA 1 as well as LOA 2, whereas the product B is available only in LOA 2. There is also another option in the system, that is to have a product cycle count. The term cycle here denotes cyclic mode of operation. A product cycle count allows you to specify a count interval so that the products are regularly counted on a rotational basis. This behavior is controlled by the master data settings available at the product level. We shall also see this setting during our demo. Now let's look at the overall process flow for counting. At a high level, the process is divided into 4 steps: initiate, fulfill, approve and analyze. As shown, the process starts with the initiation step by creating a count task. During fulfillment, the warehouse worker is expected to physically perform the count operation and then confirm the count task in the system based on his or her count results. These results are either then approved, rejected or sent for recounting by a warehouse manager in this approval step. The stock is updated in the system only when the count task is approved. The stock situation can be viewed in the stock overview. Now let's take a quick look into the system and see how counting can be performed. So here we have a system view. If I check the stock overview for a product 601 and 602, and I want to specifically check the logistic area 20, 110020, we see that the product is available in quantities 18 and 21. Physical inventory counting can be initiated from the Physical Inventory Work Center. You see in the common tasks you have options to initiate the logistic area count, product count, and there's also one more option for ad hoc kind of counting, which is called new inventory adjustment. I'll come to that in a bit. Let's start with the new product count. Storage location ID is a mandatory parameter and needs to be entered. Once you enter this, you also find that there is an option to split the tasks. If you see here, The options are no split, by logistic area, by product or by storage group. These options will differ in the case of a logistic area split. Let's go on for now with the no split option, and let's add the product IDs that we wanted to count. Okay. So these are the two product IDs that I want to count. What you see here is also a last planned count date and a next planned count date. Now where is this coming from? As I said, there is an option to maintain cycles or product cycle counting duration in a product master. So let's see where it is maintained. Let me quickly open the product, and what we see here that in the logistics tab against each site, you can mention what should be the cycle count duration. So based on this, the next proposed date is shown up here. Please note that this will not create any automated tasks in the system, but will only result in showing up of the proposed dates. And that is all. Let's move ahead now. Okay. And what we see here is the task ID proposed here, as well as here is where you can also mark it to a responsible person. I have marked it to Mark Smith. And let's go on. I don't want to count it in these two lowers, but only in the first one. And then let's move ahead and finish it. I had been logged in with the Warehouse Manager Work Center. So now I will quickly log off and see how the view looks like for Mark Smith. I shall log in as the warehouse worker now. Okay. And now when I go to the work center for count tasks, let me start it here. I see that the count task here is already created. You see, for these two products. Let's confirm this as a warehouse worker, and let me say I found 20 of this as well as 20 of this, and then I say finish all items, and that's it. My work is done. So Mark Smith can now log off. And now I log in as the warehouse manager again, and let's see what is in store for him. Okay, once I log in, I go back to my physical inventory and then the work, and here you see I have the approval for these count tasks come in. Now there is an option to approve it, recount it or reject it. Let's quickly also take a look at the stock overview. Okay, so that we can also see how the stock got updated. Okay, we are talking about this and this, the first and the last lines. Let's see, I'll approve the count and also approve the second count, and then now let's take a look at the stock overview. You see, this has got updated to 20 and even this has got updated to 20. So that brings us to the end of count tasks, but what I also wanted to quickly show you is the new inventory adjustment. The new inventory adjustment is similar to the count tasks, only that this is an ad hoc task and is performed only after the counting has already happened in the system. Only a warehouse manager can create a new inventory adjustment and not a warehouse worker. And it only signifies to say that now the inventory is made up of so many number of items. That's it. There is no planned count task which can be proposed to a particular warehouse worker to be carried out. With that, we come to the end of the demo for this particular section. Let's move back to our presentation for the next one. Having gone through the count tasks, now let us look at the internal logistics within Business by Design. As the name suggests, internal logistics cover aspects of internal, that is within a site, inventory management of a company. Ad hoc movements are those movements that allow the updation of the inventory with changes that are a result of some unforeseen circumstances. The options here are goods movement, change of stock, consumption for and against cost center and project, and also scrapping. Reversal of these ad hoc postings is also possible. The second set of activities or tasks facilitates easy and efficient movement of raw materials and finished goods. Typically, replenishment and removal are used in production processes. but they can also be used to facilitate logistics processes within a warehouse. The process steps for these activities based on an example for each will help us understand them better. Goods movement is helpful when you would like to move the stock from one logistic area, also known as bin, to another logistic area. Say for example, under a site you have multiple logistics areas and you would like to rearrange your products in them. Then goods movement could be an option. Now let's take a look at another common use case for inventory. Say you have a stock which was marked as restricted for checking suspected damage. Now after checking the stock, you find that it is fine and you would like to remove this restricted classification. Change of stock would be the option to use here. In a similar manner, you could also mark a stock which was unrestricted and change it to being restricted now via the change of stock. The other options that are available with change of stock are setting and removing of inspection stock, also moving the stock from identified stock to another identified stock. Identified stock is also known as a batch. Another common use case falls in the category of internal consumptions, and here there can be two scenarios. Consumption for cost center, which deals with a scenario where goods need to be issued to the cost center and after the usage the excess unused goods need to be returned. Consumption for project, which deals with a scenario where goods need to be issued to a project and after usage and excess unused stock needs to be returned back to the inventory. In both the use cases, the system supports the issuing of the goods as well as the return of the excess unused stock. Moving over to replenishment and removals. As can be seen, replenishment can be used for the replenishment of the raw materials from warehouse to the production supply area. Removal could be used for removal of finished goods from the production to the shipping area. There is also an automated job called inventory level adjustment run available to trigger the replenishment and removal requests. Note that the replenishment and removal could be considered as a planned task since they are first requested, that is planned, and then can be delegated via tasks to the warehouse personnel. Hence, in this sense, they differ from the ad hoc tasks that we discussed earlier. Let's now take a look at these in the system quickly. So I'm still logged in with the warehouse manager work center, with the warehouse manager login, and we'll continue with that. Internal logistics is the work center where you will find all the options that we discussed just now. Consumption for cost center, consumption for project, goods movement, change of stock, scrapping, new replenishment, new removal, and also new replenishment with reference. The new replenishment with reference here means the reference of a production order if you would like to replenish a particular product based on the reference to a production order. Let's quickly take a look at goods movement. When I start with goods movement, what I would do first is to add the information of the site. It's auto-proposed here. Let's say add row and let me choose a product. Okay, I will use this product and then I would move it. Let's move a smaller quantity of 3 each from the source logistic area. I think it's already available in the warehouse. And then let's say that we want to move it to another target logistic area. Let's say the production area. Okay, and then I say next. Sorry, I think I chose the wrong one. I wanted to put it here. Let's say next, and that's it. We finish. And now you see that from one side the goods would have been removed and the other side would have got it added. Let's quickly check the stock overview also for the same. Okay. Yeah. So if we see now, it was 20 here first, it has got reduced to 17, it was 30 here, it's got increased to 33. So it's got moved from this particular lower in the site to this particular lower. Let's take a look at another option. Let's do a consumption for cost center. Like I said, consumption is available for goods issue as well as for goods return. Let's choose a cost center, say I'll make a sales heating. Add row, let's stick to the same product that we had earlier. And now issue it 2 quantities of it from the warehouse to this particular cost center. Say next, and then I say finish, and it's as simple as that. Now we look at the stock overview, go, and we see that the stock has further got reduced here. Yet another option that we discussed about was the new replenishment. Let's say I want to replenish this product itself, and I want to do it in this particular logistic area with quantity of 3. Once I add the quantity there, I would just say request replenishment, and that is the request I'm talking about. So now a warehouse request 1408 has been created. Now let's take a look at the request. I believe all the requests, the system has been set up such that the requests are getting converted into tasks automatically. If you see here, see the request has been released already. So now go to the task control, okay, and I say 1408, okay, and I have found it. Let me see. Yes, this is the one. You see here we have the option to assign a responsible colleague here or a responsible warehouse worker here who can carry out the replenishment task and then confirm it. For the sake of simplicity, I'll just confirm the task from here itself. Okay, I choose a actual quantity as the complete quantity. I'll choose a source logistic area. Okay, I'll just take it from here. Fine, and then I say close, save. Okay, and that's it. So we have seen the options of the consumption for project, for the consumption for cost center, the goods movement, and the new replenishment. I also spoke about an automated action which is called as the inventory level adjustment runs, which is also available in the internal logistics work center itself. Also, it's possible to reverse these ad hoc activities via this display and reverse goods and activity confirmation. So that brings us to the end of the demo for this particular section. Let's go back to our slides for a quick summary. What we saw in this unit was inventory management via physical inventory counting. Then we saw how to execute the counting. Later we saw the inventory management via various internal logistics activities and also how to manage these internal logistics activities. That brings us to the end of this unit. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.